One of the strangest parts about transformation is a lot of the people of your past won't recognize you. But it's not because you're arrogant, it's more so of you're no longer abandoning yourself. But sometimes you overdid it. You overextended yourself to help people, out of love because you're an empath. But after a while you start to realize that's not working. It's not necessarily that you want to benefit, but it's more so of you're not receiving what you need in return. So after a while, what? You feel drained, you feel depleted. And some people will go as far as to intentionally use your empathy against you. So you said to yourself, man, I got to step back. I have to prioritize myself. I have to maintain my health. I have to elevate myself. I have to heal myself in these different ways. Because you ask yourself, where did that come from? The need to overextend yourself to help others. Sometimes it comes from a place of wanting to be valued. Some of you wanted to overextend yourself because that was your way of making people in your life know your value or feel your value because you're always helping or being of benefit to others. But by doing that, a lot of times you abandon yourself. If you would have took that same energy and poured it into yourself and kept that to yourself, you would have built a lot more momentum in the things that you had going on. So you have to learn to take the energy away from people. Take the same energy you once gave to other people, the love, the helping, the empathy, and apply that to yourself. And then you first realized and understood what it meant to put yourself first, right? And it's changed everything for you, just keeping that energy to yourself and letting it build, letting it transform you, letting it, it raises your energy. Now you don't feel depleted. You feel energized. You feel even high on a frequency vibrational level. You have ideas clicking. You're manifesting and attracting more and greater opportunities, people, healthy relationships, uh, getting an opportunity to go in different environments, because you stop putting your energy towards people that didn't appreciate it in the first place. You stop engaging in, environments that no longer served you. You started serving yourself. And some of these people, they may very well think you're arrogant. They may think that, you know, you're switching up now. You think you all that. Well, you are. Because if it wasn't for you, a lot of times they wouldn't have got the help and the jump and the boost they got in their life from you being in it, from you helping them, from you problem solving and using your gifts to help, fix their problems or elevate them in certain areas of life. But it's like it was like a big kaboom. It was like a big explosion when you started putting that energy into yourself. So you was able to grow and build and become successful. And now they can't even realize, they can't even recognize who you are now because you're no longer that giving and caring and, type of person. But it's important that you recognize this because transformation, it builds self-respect. Pouring into yourself instead of pouring your cup into others, pouring it into yourself, it builds self-respect. And it's a reminder of your worth. It's not that you're building worth or value. You already know your value. When you come into this world, you already have value. You don't need to prove it, but you started to remember because a lot of these people in these relationships, they didn't really value you. They did like, the help that you gave them, but they didn't take the time to pour into you because they might not even saw your value. But you started to remember your own value and you cut off the people that didn't appreciate your presence, your help, or just your gifts. Just you being around is a benefit to a lot of people. So your transformation, it built self-respect. It built awareness of who you are and all these different flaws, based off of what you've been doing, how you moved, how you overextended yourself to help other people. But when you were in darkness, when you were alone, when you needed help, there it was nobody was there to be found. You had to pick yourself up, despite you always being the one to pick up everybody else, even though you're not okay, even though you may not been all right. And so a lot of times we could be, loving like that, but we have to wake up. We have to be aware. The transformation is going to change not just how you look, man. It's about who you are and your attitude and your awareness of yourself, your worth, your self-respect. That you it's just your whole your system has changed. You don't even think the same way anymore. You don't think to put your energy towards anything or anyone who you know deep down inside doesn't serve you. And you can pick up on these things intuitively on who's with you, who's not for you, because you went through your spiritual journey. You went through your health. You changed your body, you changed your diet. You started pouring into yourself and practicing self-care. You develop a connectedness with yourself to where you can recognize bullshit from afar because you're able to read yourself. And this is very tough. This is tough because a lot of people don't do that type of work to where they go on that journey to figure themselves out. What are my flaws? Sometimes what does that a lot of times is you just being tired of being down, tired of being drained, tired of giving to others and feeling like, why isn't anybody there for me? Being in environments that's not really nurturing you and treating you the right way, right? So you get tired, you're like, yo, what's going on with me? Why am I even It's like you catch yourself. It's like you wake up and you like, yo, why am I even tolerating this right now? What's wrong with me that I'm even entertaining spaces and environments and people and relationships to where I'm not being poured into, but I notice I'm giving all this energy out. What's wrong with me? When you go through that journey and you wake up and realize moments and times in your life or past relationships, upbringings, to where you were maybe undermined or you had bad experiences that made you feel like you have to give in order for you to have presence instead of you just being present. When you go through the journey and find your flaws, what's good about you, what's not good, what you like about yourself, what you see is messed up about yourself, when you get in tune with yourself like that with humility and you get honest, you're never the same again. You can no longer look at yourself the same and the world doesn't respond to you the same in terms of your past. And it's going to be confusing for a lot of those people because they're used to you being a certain kind of way. They're used to you being so giving, overextending, going out of your way. But it's not your job to go out of your way for anybody, especially if you're drowning yourself. So your transformation is really going to elevate your value. And it's not about other people seeing your value. It's going to elevate your actual value. It's going to empower you, right? It's going to make you smarter, sharper, right? More intuitive, the confidence all time high, and your abilities will be enhanced because you're enhanced, right? And so you can no longer go back to playing a lesser role or diminishing yourself to make others feel comfortable. Once you go up, stay up. Once you elevate mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, you got to stay up there. It doesn't even feel right even attempting to go back down. It doesn't feel right. It's almost impossible to do. And moving forward, you're growing as a type of person to accomplish greater things because you overcame hell in your past, hell of toxic dynamics, family, relationships, whatever. These people that you poured into but didn't give anything back to you. You're always gonna remember that. That's always gonna be a print on your mind. Not saying anybody's gonna be living rent free in your head, but you're always going to remember what you needed to change so that you can have and create a better situation for yourself, better relationships, a better life, whatever, right? You're not going to forget it. And because of that, you're elevating. Because of that, people and environments are responding to you differently than they once did before, right? Because you're walking into rooms and environments knowing that you deserve to be there. You're not dimming your light to make anybody feel comfortable. You're not overextending yourself to help other people when they should really be the ones also helping you. See, now you know your worth. You're not the type of person to go around helping everybody. You're the one that needs to be catered to as well. You're the one that needs to be helped. You're the one that needs and demands for people to come to you and help you with your issues. You're not walking around in this kind of like this servant role where you think is you have this obligation to help others because you're caring or you're empathetic, but they need to be coming to help you because you're a king, you're a queen. So you're not diminishing yourself and playing that lesser role anymore, and that's gonna piss a lot of people off. They're not gonna understand how you made that shift. They're not gonna understand how can you start thinking that way. They're not gonna understand that. And that's all right because again, you can't afford to look back or go back. You have to keep moving forward after you transform. And you're going to look back in terms of learning the lessons extracted from it. But you always have to keep moving forward because that's why you went through your transformation to create and attract newer, better, more satisfying opportunities and relationships and situations. Now you're shining more than ever before. Now you're getting the help that you always needed. You're being catered to now because you refuse to be in that inferior position, the position that some of these people wanted you to be in, because you know your worth, you know what you deserve. And that mentality and that energy commands respect. So your transformation has you looking brighter, you're shining more, you're doing better, you're building healthier relationships, you're going up financially. And after a while, when you transform, it's like you get to a place where you look at yourself, it's like, yo, I can't even believe this. I can't believe the work that I've done actually helped me to create so much more for my life. It's almost magical, like you put a wand over your life. Like you cast positive spells on yourself because you did. You're your own alchemist. You're your own genie. Whatever you want for yourself, you can literally create it with your mind, with your thoughts first, with envisioning being in better situations, living a better life, having better relationships, looking better financially, everything. And you made that shift, you made the transformation. You took the thoughts that you had, the visions of what you wanted your life to be like, and you put it into plan and you worked on it, you manifested it. You're your own genie. You granted your own wish and you made it come true. So you're not gonna be the same again. But for a lot of people it's scary, man. And a lot of people out there, um, they try to knock or how can I say this? They try to place negative connotations on people that heal and transform. And the reason why they do it is because of insecurity and fear. Some people are scared to death of changing and evolving and finding who they are and going through their flaws and all the different things they haven't dealt with since childhood, the young adulthood, relationships with peers, romance, all that because they're afraid of what they would look like if they went through all that work. They're afraid of. I remember Tank Davis. He would say, I don't want to go to therapy. I think therapy gonna make me soft." Nah, it's not. It's not. This transformation is gonna make you a lot stronger. It's gonna make you a lot tougher, more resilient. You're not the same person after you go through that, right? You just lose a lot of toxicity. You lose a lot of toxins. It's just like detoxing your body. When you detox the body, right, with the herbs, with fasting, with cleaning the cells out of the body, You remove toxins, you remove inflammation, you remove a lot of bacteria. And because of that, you're able to heal. But you get stronger, you get sharper, and you start moving as a more healthier and balanced version of yourself versus being impulsive, versus being emotional, versus overthinking, versus over sabotage, self sabotaging. Um, and then you start seeing things better. That's why you move better. Like the saying goes, you don't see life as, or you don't see a situation as it is, or as, yeah, you don't see a situation as it is. You see a situation based off of who you are, your vision, your mind, how your brain works. So you're not going to go back. And that's threatening for a lot of people. That's scary for some people because they don't know what their life is going to look like after they change. And they don't want, a lot of times it's fear of opinion, fear of being judged. What are my friends going to think about this? What are the people in my past going to think about me making these changes? Now you're making your environment feel uncomfortable. So they can only do two things. They can either change with you, right? Or they can stay the same, but you got to go. You got to elevate. So transformation is scary for a lot of people, especially people stuck in their ways, stuck in ego, stuck in a certain status of having to look a certain way and do things and move in a certain way. Um, they feel like it's going to affect their social status, their ego, etc. But me personally, I don't really, status is important, but I don't really care about the things of the world in terms of about fitting in and status is more. I really don't. I let all that stuff go. You're gonna let go a lot of bullshit, unnecessary things, stressing and worrying about. Why are you worrying about what another person is think about you and how you live in your life? Why would you ever worry about that? But these people, it's like they're emotionally stuck in this state. Some people never grow past high school. They never grow past high school, yo. And so while you elevating and growing, they're still holding on to that same mentality of who did he think he is? Who does she think she is? Because you're not supposed to grow. Change represents a damage, right? Change represents, what do you call it? Like abandoning or betraying the group. It's like when you change, you evolve based off of a tribalist mindset. It's like you've abandoned and you've betrayed us because you changed and we're not the same no more. So what are you doing? Are you? It's like it's seen. It's detected as a form of betrayal for some of these people. Like I said, you have to keep moving forward, and you're gonna attract everything that you need for your life. When you resonated, when you're vibing on a frequency of being yourself, um, you're vibrating on the love frequency. You're authentic of who you are, and you move freely in the world. Right? You move as yourself. You move self-respected. You're gonna generate a lot of great things to you. And I'm saying this from experience. This transformation won't leave you the same. You're going to evolve and you're going to upgrade in every area of life, especially internally. You know how many people have money, they look good, they tall, whatever the case is, man or woman, and they go home and they're miserable. They're tired all the time. They're depressed. They're sad. They're crying themselves to sleep. They're always smoking and drinking, not because they actually, it's nothing wrong with smoking and drink. I smoke and drink occasionally too, casually, But it's like for a lot of people, it's not a casual thing. It's more so of like trying to ease or deal with the pains that they're battling with mentally, emotionally, the stress, right? The voids that they carry. You're gonna start to heal a lot of these voids because spiritually God has filled those voids, right? and all these areas where you lack, where you're seeking approval, validation. And that's part of the reason why some people look at you like, who do you think you are? Because they're in a state of seeking approval. And it's like perception. If they feel like they will do better, in their mind is them trying to stunt and flex on people. But in your mind, in your case, you just want better for yourself because you got tired of being in a low place. You got tired of being neglected in these situations, in these relationships, giving, overextending, and not receiving. You got tired of not really understanding how to love yourself. A lot of times we seek love from the world. A lot of people don't even, it's really foreign to a lot of people still to this day in 2026, to where a lot of people don't know what self-love is. It's like a lot of people are aware of like, okay, you're supposed to get loved by your mother. You're supposed to get loved by your father. A lot of people interpret love as something they're receiving from somebody else from outside of themselves, but they're not taught how to love who they are, for them to love themselves, to turn the love inward and give the love to yourself inward is powerful. Um, and once you go through that type of transformation and tapping into that type of energy, you're not going to be the same again. The environment, the city, the state that you're in is not going to feel right. You're going to feel out of place because, on a spiritual level, energetically, you can outgrow certain environments to where when you're in certain environments, you feel stuck, you feel low, you feel down, negative, drained. But when you, let's say you travel and go out of state and you go to another environment, you're going to feel refreshed and light in your energy, free. You know, that's because certain environments serve you better than others, right? So you're going to have to find what environments serve you, the relationships that really serve you, right? The situations that serve you. You're going to have to find that because you can't go back to these old environments. And it's not that you're leaving or abandoning anyone, but you can't tolerate environments that don't serve you, especially when you weren't really being poured into and you were overextending yourself. It's about self-respect, not about being arrogant or thinking you're superior. You won't be the same again. But why would you want to be? Why would you want to go through all that work just to be the same? You want better experiences, you want to travel, you want better relationships, you want better romance, you want better finance, you want, why would you work so hard to not be better? Why would you work hard to just stay the same or your life to be the same? Doesn't make sense. Your transformation will put you on a path to living a very exciting life. And I'm not saying it's overnight, but the changes that you will make is going to allow you, it's going to open up a lot of doors to you. So stay on a path. Don't let outside noise get to you. Oh, they're working out now. Oh, they're going on this journey. Oh, they're not coming outside anymore because you inside the house working on yourself. Um, don't stop. And it's an everyday process too. You just keep evolving little by little. You evolve, you grow, you learn, you look back at the past, not to be all emotional or mad or sad about it, but to just learn and extract the lessons so that moving forward, you know how to move. You know how to make better decisions. You know how to move when you deal with certain people because you're gaining wisdom. You're gaining street smarts even with dealing with these different type of individuals and environments. And it's like it's impossible to be the same, right? But why would you want to be? So that's it, man. Um, stay on the journey. Stay on the journey. Keep growing. Keep evolving. Follow me on Instagram, randy.harlequin, my fitness page. Um, TikTok as well, same name, randy.harlequin. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments. Let me know, tell me about your journey of your transformation, things you have to go through with past relationships, how you built a better life now with better relationships, opportunities, etc. and subscribe. So see you on the next one, man. Peace.